So as you see, I have this gigantic piece of parchment paper, which I will explain why it is so big in a few minutes. I actually might cut it down just a tiny bit. I haven't put it in my Dutch oven yet, but I want it to go all the way up the sides of my bread because, as you saw, I have a heart-shaped loaf in mind, or hopefully, as you saw, and it's not a giant wreck when I take it out. You never know, like I say all the time, you never know how it's really gonna turn out. So this guy is like super proofed. It's been really warm here, and I've been trying to avoid my air conditioner. I don't avoid it as much for me as I do my horde of house plants that I have. It's like Jumanji in my house. And I have killed more plants since moving to like the air conditioned. I used to live like in the Pacific Northwest, and surprise, surprise, in the Pacific Northwest you absolutely do not need an air conditioner. Well, where I was in the Pacific Northwest. Just like I was right on the coast in the redwoods. It was a super cute little town, but now I live in kind of like the Boise or Treasure Valley area, and it gets hot and I do not know what to do with myself. So summertime used to be my favorite season, and now I really like winter. I love the snow, which I never got snow before, so the snow was super cool. Now it's beginning to be summertime. Well, spring, but it feels like summer out there. It's pretty crusty on there. So if you get like huge crusty bits, you can take your razor and just shave them off a little. This isn't like super mega crusty, but sometimes if you use a ton of flour, you will get some crust issues. That's just all-purpose flour. It's what I use for every loaf. All your guys' support and everything has been so amazing. It's helping me really like think outside the box, like, oh, what can I do next that people will love? And I've been a professional photographer for the last 11 years, and so I have that kind of creative thing going on anyways, and visually appealing things are like my jam. So that's where I get this art on bread kind of deal. So I have a cookie cutter here, and my loaf, the way that I put it in yesterday with that tea towel, it is kind of dented in right here already. So I'm gonna go with that and make that the dent into my heart. My sister Katrina is obsessed with hearts and heart-shaped everything, so this is for you, Trina. Katrina. Everybody calls her Katrina except for my family. We all call her Trina or Tree. And so when people are like, oh, I know your sister Katrina, I'm like, who? I have a sister Katrina? Okay, so in with the slashings. They're not super deep, just deep enough to see. The deeper that you cut these, the wider they're gonna open up. I had some of you ask about my lamb from the last video that I posted, and Yes, I did make it myself. It is not pretty. It's nothing special. You can buy really nice ones. I am cheap and made my own. If you want me to do a video on how to make these, it would be like maybe comical because I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do it if you guys want me to. So inside here, I'm gonna do another, I'm gonna kind of try to freehand this. I'm not the best heart. Actually, I'm gonna draw it first so that I can, so this is just a chopstick. I bucked the end off of it and sanded it down. So yeah, I can do some things. So I'm gonna mark the middle and try to get it as symmetric as possible. You could cut a piece of paper like we did in grade school so that it's really nice and symmetric. It's not going to end up perfect no matter what you do. So if you are a perfectionist, sourdough is probably not for you. I don't mean it like that, but if you're gonna get like frustrated and disappointed that it doesn't turning out like perfect every single time, it's gonna be a heartbreak for you because it just really is not going to turn out perfect every single time. I've been baking since I was like a kid and it just doesn't happen. Maybe if you own a bakery and make 10,000 loaves of bread every day, you could perfect that, but most of us do not have this luxury. So I'm just going to continue with this heart theme. Hopefully how it ends up is with the setup I'm going to show you in my Dutch oven, that I actually have like a heart-shaped loaf, which is what I'm going for. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm actually going to have you watch me put it in my Dutch oven this time, which I don't normally do. You'll see that right there is kind of close. I have a feeling that when this expands, I'm going to get a tear right there because see how it's farther away on that side, and then I got it real close here. That might be an issue when it proofs in the oven, because this is still going to expand in the oven. It is a live animal. We'll try on this side to get it a little farther away. So it's not perfectly symmetrical right there, but it's okay. We'll just can't undo these strokes once you do them. I'm gonna go the opposite way with this one. Talked about National Donut Days coming up yesterday and today. I'm going to attempt to make sourdough donuts. So maybe you'll see those tomorrow. I also have this idea that I want to use nutritional yeast in my dough because I am like obsessed with nutritional yeast in an unhealthy way. Like, I'm not sure if it's good for me how much of it I eat. It's not right. If you haven't had it on kale chips, make yourself some kale chips. Especially if you're eating as much sourdough as I'm eating, you should probably eat something that's not carbohydrates. And put nutritional yeast on those babies, and oh my gosh, I have eaten so many of them that I could like make myself sick on it. Okay, so I'm gonna go with one more big outlined heart. It's generally the case that the edges are, oops, not my camera. The edges are a bit harder to score because it's thinner here, gets warmer here faster, and so they get soft and they're a bit harder to score. If you have issues with scoring, check out some of my other videos. I go over how I get my bread to score so nicely in some of my other videos. So this right here, I'm a little worried about it. We'll see when it comes out what that does. Okay, so here's my very lovely, pun intended, heart loaf. So I'm gonna grab my Dutch oven and show you how I have it rigged up inside, and I'll be right back. Okay, so inside I have tinfoil, pieces of tinfoil. I've had this Dutch oven preheating at 500 degrees for like an hour, hour and a half right now, so it's super hot. I'm not gonna touch it, but I have just pieces of tinfoil that are almost the same height as my Dutch oven, and they're kind of thick, and I have them built up as walls. So we'll see if I can get this guy in a sort of symmetrical manner without ruining everything. I think I'm gonna try to put this side in first. Okay, so all these little edges, I'm gonna try to smush them down as much as I can so that they also don't indent my bread. Try not to burn yourself. This is super hot. I have mom fingers, so they're kind of dead inside. Okay, I think this is as good as I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna chop this off before I put it in, and then I'm gonna put the lid on it and bake it for 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna take the lid off, bake it for another 25 minutes, and then I'll show you what she looks like. Pray for me because I'm not sure this is gonna work.